Starting off this countdown, we have Andy and Daniel. Take a look at the people here and tell me that that is not Andy Samberg and Daniel Radcliffe. Don't see a resemblance? Well, take a look at them side by side. Bam! Someone discovered this photo. I'm assuming in like an old yearbook. I could be wrong, but then they uploaded it online. From there, thousands of people were liking and commenting on it, agreeing that they look an awful lot like those two actors. I mean, they're posing the exact same in everything. It's way too freaky. Like, did Harry Potter use a time turner to go back in time or what? Either that or those are the men's real fathers. I just can't stop staring at the photo, like it's too eerie. Coming in at number 9, we have Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon is a well-known comedian and talk show host. And now, apparently time traveler. Take a look at this photo. The man on the left is Marxist revolutionary leader Mahir Khayyam. Mahir passed away in 1972. When was Jimmy born? September 1974. Just 2 years later. So either reincarnation is real or he's a time traveler. Maybe Jimmy felt like he needed to go back in time and try and make a difference in society. Or that's just his long lost family member. Coming in at number 8, we have Leonardo da Vinci. Famous painter Leonardo da Vinci is also believed to be a time traveler. In fact, a lot of people have said that he was ahead of his time. Maybe quite literally. Maybe he came from the future, you know what I'm saying? One theory is that he went back in time to steal other people's accomplishments or to help advance the world. This dude was a genius. He knew more things than anyone else did in that time period. For example, Da Vinci drew pictures of a helicopter in 1493, okay? That's hundreds of years before an actual helicopter was created. But not only that, he had the idea for an armored fighting vehicle, aka tanks. And he also invented the idea of a submarine. He talked about ships that could travel underwater, and even sketched designs of them. So Da Vinci somehow came up with all these modern day inventions and more. How? Because he's a time traveler. Boom, mic drop. In our 7th spot, we have Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin went back in time to become the 13th president of the United States, Millard Fillmore. I guess he was like, hey, if Donald Trump can do it, so can I. Let me just borrow this time machine real quick and go back in time and run for presidency. Or something like that. Like, come on, the two look so eerily similar in every photo. We need to get Ancestry DNA to do some research. Maybe they're related somewhere along the line. Or Alec Baldwin learned how to time travel. Coming in at number 6, we have Queen Latifah. Take a look at African-American novelist Zora Neale Hurston. A lot of people have noticed that she looks like Queen Latifah's twin. Seriously, the resemblance is crazy, especially since they both like wearing wide-brimmed hats. Coincidence? I think not. Hurston is said to be one of the most important black writers in all of American literature. She wrote a number of powerful pieces, including her most famous work, Their Eyes Were Watching God. A lot of people are now saying that Latifah should play Hurston in a movie about her life. I mean, it seems fitting. Or maybe Queen Latifah is a time traveler and then she would just end up playing herself in that movie, technically. It's crazy. They look so much alike. In our 5th spot today, we have Nicolas Cage. There's a man from the 19th century that looks pretty similar to this Academy Award-winning actor and America's national treasure. The photo was taken in 1870 and features a Tennessee man dressed in a snazzy outfit. The photo was found in the back of an album of death portraits. But did the man really die? Or did he just leave that time period and come back to this time period? Think about it. What's even crazier though is that this photo is currently being listed on eBay for $1 million. I don't know who would buy that, but it could be real photographic evidence that Nick Cage is a time traveler. Moving on to number 4, we have Justin Timberlake. American singer-songwriter Justin Timberlake is another celebrity believed to be a time traveler. Take a look at this photo of a man from the past. That is his doppelganger. Sadly, we don't know much about this mystery man. One post said that he was a criminal from back in the day, whereas another post said that he was a minor. I'm not sure. Maybe he was a criminal and a minor. A minor that, you know, committed crimes. Who knows? Why would Justin go back in time to be a minor or to commit crimes? Doesn't really make sense. Maybe he was just trying to bring sexy back. See what I did there? I just can't stop this feeling that he's a time traveler. It's almost like he goes around and comes around. Sorry, I'll stop with the puns, but seriously, this one is pretty freaky. Coming in at number 3, we have Jack Black. This one is honestly the funniest one on this list. You know, Jack Black is talented when he has a successful acting career currently, and also way back in the day in Italy. So this old Italian poster literally looks like it has Jack Black on the cover. Like, excuse me, they have the same facial expression and everything. Does that mean that Jack Black went back in time so he could be a famous actor in Italy, or what? Maybe this was his way to do research for one of the films he was in, you know, to like really get into character. Who knows at this point? Jack Black is a time traveler, okay? Moving on to number 2, we have Anne Hathaway. Okay, this is another really freaking trippy one. So people have pointed out that actress Anne Hathaway's husband looks a lot like William Shakespeare. Okay, I see the resemblance, they're correct, but guess what? William Shakespeare's wife's name was literally Anne Hathaway. Like, mind blow. Coincidence? I think not. Time travelers? Confirmed. I mean, she could have at least used a different name to make it less suspicious. Like, come on now. I'm just kidding. But either they both reincarnated and found each other again, or they're time travelers. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Donald Trump. Okay, buckle your seatbelts. I'm not even kidding when I say that Donald Trump might be a time traveler. Just wait until you see this evidence. Basically, someone discovered 2 books on the Office of Congress Library website. The books are called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and 1900, or The Last President. Both were written in the 1890s by Ingersoll Lockwood. Now, hold on one second. What's Donald Trump's son's name? Baron Trump, okay? But that's not the only spooky coincidence. The book Baron Trump is about a young boy who finds a secret portal and time travels. At one point in the book, he is guided by a man named Don, aka Donald, aka Donald Trump. And then in the book, The Last President, it's about an unlikely presidential candidate that won the election. Sound familiar? Even freakier, the book talks about the 5th Avenue Hotel. The address of the hotel in the book is the exact same address where Trump's tower currently stands. But wait, there's more. In this book, there's a character named Laugh Pence, who is the Secretary of Agriculture. Hello? The ex-vice president's name was Mike Pence. Come on guys, there's just too many similarities between the books and Donald Trump's life. So, people believe that this book was actually written about Trump and his family, all of whom are time travelers. Moving on to number 9, we have The Fight. A video of Mike Tyson's fight from 1995 went viral online for containing supposed proof of a time traveler. In the background of the video, you can see a man who appears to be recording or taking photos of the fight on an iPhone or another modern camera phone. The fight was in 1995 and camera phones were not sold until the 2000s. As a result, many people are convinced that the man in the audience is a time traveler, who I guess is a fan of Mike Tyson. What also tripped people out is the fact that the main cameras used in the 90s were the ones with the lenses in the middle. This camera is clearly lacking that. However, others believe that the man is not a time traveler and in fact was just taking a photo on a camera known as the Casio QV10A. Even though it's been potentially debunked, there are people out there that don't believe it for a second. In our 8th spot, we have the Mohawk Man. It's like, where's Waldo with these photos? Except you're looking for the person that doesn't belong. So this next image is apparently from 1905 and shows workers and a banana boat delivering goods. However, near the boat there appears to be someone standing there in a white t-shirt rocking a Mohawk style haircut, which is a very unusual haircut for that time period. The men in the photo are wearing suits and top hats and have fancy mustaches and look well dressed, whereas he's there in a plain t-shirt. Due to the fact that he looks out of place, people have pegged him as a time traveler. He kind of reminds me of Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver though. In our 7th spot, we have the Hipster, another very popular photo that has been circulating online. So the photo contains a crowd of people in the 1940s at the reopening ceremony for the South Fork Bridge in British Columbia. Well, In this photo, everyone seems to be dressed up besides the man on the right hand side of the photo. Everyone else is in suits and top hats, and this tall man seems to be very out of place dressed like a hipster, hence why he was given that name. He can be seen sporting funky sunglasses, a graphic t-shirt, and of course is carrying a camera. Now, some believe that he is indeed a time traveler, whereas others have tried to debunk it. They claim that all the items he is seen wearing were available back in 1941 when the photo was taken. Either way, he looks pretty out of place. In our 6th spot, we have Greta Thunberg. I'm sure all of you have heard about Greta Thunberg, the young Swedish activist who is spreading the word about climate change. Well, there's a theory out there that Greta is actually a time traveler. This theory came to life after a photo of 3 children was uploaded to the internet. These children appeared to be at a gold mine on Dominion Creek in the Yukon. However, the one girl looks identical to Greta and is even wearing the same braided hairstyle. As a result, people believe that Greta is a time traveler sent from the future to save humanity before we completely destroy it. And then apparently she traveled back to 1898 to the Yukon before coming to the present moment. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the fence legend. So this one is more of a legend, but either way it makes for a good time traveling story. So legend goes that there was a 30-year-old man named Rudolph Fentz who was hit and injured by a New York taxi in the 1950s. His pockets contained a copper token for beer, a bill for the care of a horse, and a letter from 1876 among other unusual items. Turns out that this man was a person who disappeared in 1876 at the age of 29. Like I mentioned before, this is apparently a legend that originated from a 1951 short story book. But others believe that this is actually a cover-up, and that Rudolph Fentz was a real man who was a time traveler. Making our way down the list at number 4, we have the beach time traveler. What's something you would do if you could time travel? Maybe stop a tragedy from happening, save someone's life, or just chill at the beach getting some rays? Because that last one is exactly what this time traveler did. A photo from September 1943 apparently shows British factory workers enjoying their break on the beach during the midst of wartime. Everyone is seen wearing bathing suits that fit the era. But right in the middle of the photo is a man in a brown suit, who honestly looks like Mr. Bean. This dude is also checking something that looks like a phone. Some even say that he's checking his time travel device. People were really weirded out about this man because he sticks out like a sore thumb. As a result, he has been deemed a time traveler. Coming in our 3rd spot, we have the film extra. In this next situation, a woman time traveled to be an extra in a Charlie Chaplin film. Or so it appears that way. In the 1928 film, a woman who appears to be taking a phone call can be seen crossing the screen. The video was in the behind the scenes footage from Chaplin's film, The Circus. The woman is in a long black coat and is holding something to her ear, which she is speaking into. Of course, in 1928 there were no cell phones, so how is this possible? 2 words: time travel. However, others believe that she is simply holding a hearing device to her ear, or that she's holding up her hand to shield her eyes from the sun. But that still doesn't explain why she appears to be talking to herself and holding the black rectangular object like a cell phone. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this one. In our 2nd spot, we have the Canadian man. Now, this photo is pretty odd. The photo is over 100 years old and shows a bunch of dressed up Canadians chilling on a hill. Another Canadian time traveler. At first glance, everything appears to be normal, until you take a closer look. On the left side of the photo, there's a man on the hill that seems out of place. I mean, the men are dressed up in top hats and suits, and he's just chilling there in a t-shirt and shorts. In fact, the 2 men beside him are giving him a look like, who's this guy? As a result, people have referred to him as the surfing time traveler. Like seriously, he seems so out of place. But also, why would you choose that as your time traveling outfit? Like I'd pick something cool, like a leather jacket, you know, look all cool and edgy. And in our number 1 spot, we have the cell phone. Another time traveler caught using a cell phone. So if you're gonna go back in time, don't bring your phone. A film from 1938 shows a woman talking on a device that looks just like a cell phone. Again, how is that possible when the first mobile phone wasn't available to buy until around the 80s? After this video made headlines, a YouTube user came forward claiming that the lady in the video was her great-grandmother. She apparently asked her grandmother, whose name is Gertrude Smith, about the video, and she said that she really was using a cell phone. Apparently, the phones were a prototype developed by a communications factory in Massachusetts. Gertrude and 5 other women were given the phones to test out for a week. But it's still hard to believe that this company was way ahead of the times. When mobile phones were ready, they were big, not the small ones that fit comfortably in your hand as seen in the video. So it really does make us wonder, what's real and what's not? Honestly, it seems hard to believe, and Gertrude Smith seems like a made-up name. And it was never even confirmed if what this user said was true. So it may just be that time travel is real and Gertrude was not too sly and got caught in action.
In our number 10 spot, we have the woman on her cell phone. There is a painting by Ferdinand George Waldmüller from 1860 called The Expected One. This painting shows a woman walking through what appears to be a trail while holding an object which looks an awful lot like a cell phone. She also is seemingly transfixed by what she's looking at, similar to how people look at their cell phones when scrolling or sending a text today. People have looked at this painting and have perceived this woman as a possible time traveler, and hey, I see it. What else could that object be? What else could a woman of that time be holding? What could be as small as a cell phone and also something that she could be so focused on? I'm sure there are quite a few answers to this, but whatever. We are going to say that it's clearly a cell phone and she's clearly a time traveler. The end. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to smash that like button as it will really help us out. In our number 9 spot, we have actor Rupert Grint. There is a Scottish painter by the name of Sir David Wilkie who lived in the 18th and 19th centuries and whom looked very similar to a very famous actor today. Fans of Rupert Grint, who played the infamous Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter franchise, were shocked to see a portrait of David and how he looks extremely similar to Rupert. Could it be possible that Rupert is really just a time traveler who has traveled to this time to capture our hearts and souls on the screen? A lot of people think so, as you cannot deny that the two look quite similar. However, personally I think this is one painting I disagree with, as I don't think they look enough alike for this to be the same person. I know that some people share a theory that time travelers change certain features on their face so that they're not recognizable, but something makes me think that this theory is a bit of a stretch and truly isn't the same person. I don't know. If we were to believe that time travelers exist, of course. And we do. In our number 8 spot, we have Keanu Reeves. Okay, if I could get on board with any celebrity being a time traveler, it would definitely be Keanu Reeves, because he is just magical. Do you agree? There's something about him that seemingly makes him likable to literally everyone on the planet. I truly wonder if there's anyone who dislikes him. So he is either magical or a time traveler, but that would also make him magical, so he's probably both. There is a very mysterious painting from the 1500s of a man that has a striking resemblance to Keanu Reeves. This painting has made its rounds online and has convinced a lot of people that he must be a time traveler. This is definitely one of the paintings on this list that truly feels like it could be real because of how similar Keanu looks to this man. The thing is though, Keanu seems to have a lot of people throughout history that looks like him, including King Charlemagne around 800 AD, as well as the 20th century French actor Paul Mountet. So it's because of all of these possible time traveler sightings that the internet is convinced that Keanu is immortal. And I'm here for it. I love him. In our number 7 spot, we have a man and his cell phone. Here we have yet another mysterious painting where this time a man is holding an object that is seemingly looking like a cell phone. I don't know. It looks like a cell phone. It seemingly is a cell phone. This is an oil painting made by a painter named Peter de Hooch from the year 1670. Some people have said that this man was a messenger and that it was a letter that holding not a phone, and that seems definitely definitely more likely. However, this cell phone theory is way more fun. Imagine if people had cell phones in those days. They would have definitely been called witches, as this was around the time where the witch trials were taking place all around the world. So it's probably accurate to say that if he was holding a cell phone, he would have probably been more discreet about it, or maybe not. Perhaps he's a cheeky kind of guy and loves to play with fire. In any case, I personally think that it looks more like a phone that he's holding than a letter, so I'm gonna say this one is definitely a time traveler. In our number 6 spot, we have Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone has been trending online recently because people believe that he could be a potential time traveler. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because of a painting of a man called Pope Gregory IX approving the Vatican decretals. You have to admit, this guy looks like he is Sylvester Stallone. The resemblance is uncanny. If this is not Sylvester, then it has to be someone directly related to him by blood, right? That is the only conclusion. Okay, but in all seriousness, if this guy is not related to him and this is not him, then this is a very good example of how it is possible to have a twin somewhere else in the world, possibly on a different time frame, but it is still possible that someone else could exist in the history of the world that looks just like you. Such a cool thought. In our number 5 spot, we have Nicolas Cage. Okay guys, here is another one. Man, this list is actually kind of blowing my mind. There are way too many paintings that look exactly like famous actors. This one looks like actor Nicolas Cage. I am a massive fan of the National Treasure movies, so I definitely have a sweet spot for good old Nicolas. But also, he encouraged Johnny Depp to become an actor, so bless you, Nick. You gave us a gift we cannot ever repay you for. Anyways, there is a painting of a Mexican emperor, Maximiliano of Habsburgo, I hope I didn't butcher that, and Sir Nick looks like his doppelganger. But let's be real, he probably is. The only thing is people seem to say that Nick looks like he's a lot of people from different time periods, so honestly, who knows? He does have a very mysterious quality to him, so perhaps that is why people are quick to think that he might be, you know, a time traveler. In our number 4 spot, we have Jack Gleason. This is the only one on this list that is not a painting but just needed an honorable mention. Honestly, this was a hard list to research, so, you know, just love me. Jack Gleason, one of the stars of Game of Thrones that played the infamous Joffrey, looks surprisingly a lot like a statue of the Roman Emperor Caligula. Almost identical. If you have watched Game of Thrones, then you would know that his character is the king for a while, and what a terrible king he was. Perhaps he had some practice from once being a Roman emperor. Some say yes. This statue is too much like him that he must be a time traveler. Either that or he's immortal and he's been alive since this time. In our number 3 spot, we have Michael Jackson. This is a really interesting one. People think that it's possible that Michael Jackson was a time traveler. Okay, if Michael Jackson was a time traveler, then maybe he isn't actually dead and he just traveled to another time. Michael is known for being someone who loved art, so it's possible that he even styled one of his looks based off of a painting that weirdly looks like him, but truly it is rather strange that this painting really looks like him. Perhaps he actually traveled back in time in a time machine and someone painted him and that is how this painting exists? Ooh, what if instead of being dead, he's trapped in the painting? Like what happens in the movie The Witches, based on Roald Dahl's book. It's fun to imagine scenarios like this. Anyways, there's no denying the resemblance and the similarities in their fashion choices. Pretty strange. In our number 2 spot, we have Peter Dinklage. If you do not know who Peter Dinklage is, then I can only assume that you haven't viewed one of the greatest television series of all time, Game of Thrones. Oh, and also Elf. What a movie. Anyways, Peter is one of the most iconic stars from Game of Thrones, probably the fan favorite, besides Arya, Sansa, Jon Snow. Okay, never mind, there were too many great characters. There is a painting of a man that looks just like Peter though. The painting is called The Portrait of Sebastian de Mora by a man named Diego Velázquez. It was painted between 1644 to 1645. It truly looks just like Peter, so I understand why people look at at this painting and immediately think it's him. Is everyone a time traveler in Hollywood? It feels like yes. In our number 1 spot, we have Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook, has definitely been called a robot, an alien, a shapeshifter, and now I'm learning that people believe him to be a possible time traveler, and it is because of a painting of the King of Spain, Philip IX. The painting was said to have been done in 1624 by a man named Diego Velázquez. I may be butchering his name, but hey, I tried. He looks like an awful lot like Mark. Some same droopy eyes, long face, hair color, nose, and also possibly hair texture. Kinda hard to make out, but it looks like it. The only thing is, the king appears to have bigger lips, but who knows, maybe the artist did that. Or perhaps Mark had a lip reduction. Anyways, not sure I'm on board with this theory fully, but the robot theory might have some solid arguments.
Coming into number 10, we have W Man. What does the W stand for? William? Wallace? Women? Oaxaca? Oh, only our British audience will get this, but I really miss Oaxaca. Get me some sweet potato tacos immediately! Tacos probably weren't a thing in 1940s Canada when this picture was taken, although I bet Mr. W has eaten a few, because look at him, he's a blatant time traveler hipster. A lot of people dub this guy the time traveling hipster, and he does certainly look like he would be better placed working in Silicon Valley and San Francisco, or Ubisoft. The picture was taken at the opening of South Fork Bridge, but it got the world's attention in 2010 at a photo exhibit. The guy is wearing sunnies and looks like he is holding a far more modern DSLR camera. Sadly, it does turn out that the letter on his shirt is actually an M for the Montreal Maroons, who played in the NHL from 1924 to 1938. So that being said, he could just be trying to blend in. Although to be honest with you, the rest of him's pretty standout. What do you guys think? Is he a time traveler? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Coming into number 9, we have Charlie Chaplin's time traveling extra. Take a look at this footage from Charlie Chaplin's 1928 movie Circus. If this footage was from the modern day, the first thing you would notice is that it's in black and white. You wouldn't pay any attention to the woman who is clearly on her mobile phone in the background walking behind a zebra. But this is 1928 and cell phones won't be readily available for another 70 so years. Even the early cell phones of the 1980s were chunky. This woman is clearly time traveling from the future, and judging by the size of her phone, I would say from the next millennium. This time traveler is caught on camera all the time. We have Nicolas Cage at number 8. Fun fact, Nicolas Cage has the same birthday as me. Second fun fact, did you know that the Academy Award and Golden Globe Award winning actor Nicolas Cage is indeed a time traveler? No? Well, he is. The actor uses a personally developed style of performance that he calls nouveau shamanic, which, I mean, sure. Maybe it's something that he's developed across the ages, as it seems that the film legend is indeed a time traveler. He's also fulfilled a lot of roles in history. Here he is as Mexican Emperor Maximilian I of Habsburgo, and here he is as an unidentified man from Bristol, Tennessee in 1870. The actor was forced to publicly deny it on Letterman. Spotted at the beach at number 7. So this picture here is a lovely snap of British war workers escaping the perils of their job for one much needed sunny day in 1943. The image was shared on Twitter and the poster was asking people to identify where the beach was. It turns out that the beach in question was Towan Beach in Cornwall, but more than the stretch of sand was identified here. It seemed that eagle-eyed viewers spotted a man on a smartphone in the middle of the picture. He could just be looking at something in his hand, but doesn't it look like he's on his phone? Honestly, to me it seems like he is so checking his phone. To me, it looks like he's just received a really confusing text from Bay and he's not sure how to respond. So phones feature heavily on this list, so do prepare yourself for more and even more shocking examples. But before we get to that, let me pose to you that Michael Jackson isn't actually dead, he's time traveling. Find out why I've drawn this conclusion at number 6. YouTube account Fact5 compiled a number of pictures that have shown the King of Pop popping up through history. So weird that this was never spotted until he died. It's like he's out there somewhere changing the future. Here's a painting of Michael from like, let's say the late 1700s, and then there's this Egyptian statue of him.
Right. Roll up for another iPhone. This one comes 60 to 70-ish years ahead of schedule. We have Henry Fonda's touchscreen at number 5. This clip is from the 1948 John Wayne movie Fort Apache, and there is a scene in which the character Lieutenant Colonel Owen Thursday, played by Henry Fonda, whips out his iPhone and goes over a list of names with his daughter Philadelphia, played by Shirley Temple. Check it out and tell me what you think. To me, he's holding that just like a slim iPhone X, although I feel like this is probably just a notebook. But it looks a lot like an iPhone. I don't know. What do you think? Coming into number 4, we have a time traveling car. This time traveling car has totally vexed the internet time and time again. This footage was allegedly caught on a Russian police officer's dash cam and features what can only be described as a time traveling car. Is that the DeLorean? The footage starts as the car is turning left. We can see the traffic at a standstill, and then on the right, all of a sudden a car comes from nowhere. Like, seriously, nowhere. It's definitely the Doctor and Marty McFly. Oh, actually, let me slow this down for you and you can watch again because this is so crazy. Like, where did it come from? Time traveling! Uploaded by Rose Adams on YouTube, this video has been watched over 1 million times, and by the looks of the comments, a lot of people are just as confused as me. Okay, the teleporting or time traveling car did have me pretty convinced. Factory worker at number 2. Watch out, here come the girls. This footage was shot in 1938 and is thought to be of factory workers leaving for the day. There they all are in their 1930s looking clothing, behaving as I would expect, until this lady comes along. Now to me she very much looks like she's holding an early 2000s flip phone. I remember those. So good. Something really satisfactory about flipping a phone. Seriously though, look at her. What else could she be doing? She seems to be engaging with the phone as if she's talking to someone, and she's smiling but not at the woman next to her. According to a video that Danny made earlier about time travelers, in 2013 a woman came forward in the comments section of the video to say that she was the great-granddaughter of this woman. She says her name was Gertrude. She said that Gertrude was actually part of a science and tech experiment to test a wireless phone, although, like, really, there isn't that much scientific evidence to back that up at all. And since then the comments section has been axed. What does this mean?
Starting off this countdown, we have the World Cup. During the 1962 FIFA World Cup, somebody captured a photo of the Brazilian team celebrating as they lift their trophy. But the photo captured more than just that. Towards the bottom of the photo, there's a man who appears to be taking a picture using a flip-style cell phone. Obviously, flip phones weren't a thing back then, so this has led people to believe that this guy is a time traveler, and obviously a fan of soccer. As a soccer player, I respect that. Now, it's quite weird that this time traveler would have a flip phone with them. Like, out of all devices, they chose to bring a flip phone back in time with them. On the other hand, people believe that the phone is actually just a film camera held at a weird angle, but who knows? In our 9th spot, we have Nicolas Cage. Okay, some of you may know this, I know the true fans will, but I love Nicolas Cage. National Treasures, great movie, don't come at me. Well, Nicolas Cage is theorized to be a time traveler. That's right. He's the face of a meme, an actor, America's national treasure, and even a time traveler. What a great thing to be able to write on your resume. There's a photo of a man from the 19th century that looks pretty identical to this Academy Award winning actor. The photo was taken in 1870 and features a Tennessee man dressed in a snazzy outfit. The photo was found in the back of an album of death portraits. And this photo could be yours for $1 million. Seriously, that's how much it's listed for. But anyways, this photo might just prove that Nick Cage is a time traveler. In our 8th spot, we have the brass bell. In 1944, a 10-year-old boy by the name of Newton Anderson was shoveling coal into his furnace at his home when a piece of coal was dropped and broke in half. Inside the coal revealed a mysterious bell. Keep in mind that the coal was found to be 300 million years old. Back then, the dominant life form on Earth were insects. Not only that, but studies on the bell revealed that it was handmade. So it's physically impossible for a bell like that to have been manufactured back then. So this has led people to believe that a time traveler went back in time to that time period and dropped their bell while doing so. But who the heck carries a bell with them when they're going back in time? Like, that's not something that would be in my suitcase. Now, of course, people were skeptical. They thought that the boy lied and didn't find the bell in the coal. But he underwent a polygraph test conducted by a specialist who worked on death row cases. It was discovered that he was indeed telling the truth. So now the question is, who was the time traveler that dropped this on their mission? And what is the significance behind the bell? Moving on to number 7, we have the toothed wheel. A Russian man was using coal to heat his home when he realized something odd sticking out of it. Researchers stated that it looked like a toothed wheel. Testing of this object revealed that it was 98% aluminum and 2% magnesium. What's weird is humans didn't learn to make aluminum until 1825. But this coal piece is 300 million years old. And the tooth object appears to be artificially made. Again, how did a man-made object find its way in a 300 million year old piece of coal? Not only that, but the object resembles parts that are used in things like microscopes or electronic devices. Or maybe time machines. It could be that a time traveler went back to that time period and then a piece broke off of his time traveling device or something. In our 6th spot, we have the skater boy. Skateboarding was an activity that became increasingly popular during the mid-70s. But here's the thing. There's a photo of a well-dressed man boarding through New York's Central Park. The photo was taken back in the 1960s, when very few people were out skateboarding. In fact, it was very rare to see people skateboarding before the 70s because it was not a popular activity at all. And even when it did become popular, it took years before it was embraced as a real sport. So then, who is this man in a suit that is riding a board? He looks super out of place. This has led people to believe that he is a time traveler from the future that clearly likes skateboarding as his method of transportation. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with John Titor. John Titor is a supposed time traveler from the year 2036 on a military mission. He first made his appearance on the internet in the 2000s on online forums. He would post about predictions or share stories from the future. The reason for him traveling back in time is so that he can get an IBM 5100, which apparently had a secret function that could translate anything to any language. I have no clue why he needed it, but he did. On the forums, John also posted grainy photos of the time machine and of the military logo from the future. In 2001, John disappeared from online and was never heard from again. So some people believe that he is a real time traveler. Maybe he made it back home, or maybe something else happened to him. In our 4th spot, we have Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a painter, sculptor, inventor, engineer, and architect during the Renaissance. However, he's probably most famous for his painting, the Mona Lisa. Well, believe it or not, but da Vinci is thought to be a time traveler. Hear me out, okay? Leonardo da Vinci was often considered way ahead of his time. Well, maybe this is quite literally, since he's thought to have come from the future. One theory is that he went back in time to steal others' accomplishments or to help advance the world. This dude was a genius. He knew more things than anyone else did in that time period. For example, da Vinci drew pictures of a helicopter in 1493. That's around 450 years before an actual helicopter was created. But not only that, he had the idea for an armored fighting vehicle, aka tanks. And he also invented the idea of a submarine. He talked about ships that could travel underwater and even sketched designs of them. So da Vinci somehow came up with all of these modern day inventions and more. How? Because he's a time traveler. Making our way down the list at number 3, we have the self-proclaimed traveler. Over the years, a number of people have come forward claiming that they are time travelers from the future, which is the case for this next man. A couple of years ago, an older Greek man came forward saying that he traveled in time to the year 3207. Of course, during his interview, he had his identity hidden for safety reasons. His face was blurred out and his voice was distorted. Now, he claims that he was shot forward in time and spent 2 days in the year 3207 as part of a top secret military program. He claims that in the future the buildings were massive, triple the size that they are today. He also says that there were flying cars and that there was strange colored grass. It wasn't green, but he said it was a deep purple. And lastly, he says that aliens, humans, big animals, and robots all were walking together down the street. And that seems like a pretty crazy future. And why is the grass purple? Like, what kind of environmental mutation happened there? I don't even want to know. Coming in at number 2, we have Paul Dinick. In 1921, a man named Paul Dinick, a Swiss-Australian teacher, slipped into a coma for about a year. For that year, he claimed that he went to the year 3096, where he switched consciousness with a man named Andrew Northman. 1 minute, he was in a coma. Next, he's inside Andrew's body speaking a foreign language. For that year, he was living as Andrew. Friends of Andrew even noticed his personality changed. Paul was so scared to tell anyone of his experience, so he wrote it in his diary and kept it a secret. However, just before he passed away, he gave his diary to one of his students to translate. And that's when it was revealed that he had somehow time traveled to the future. And in our number 1 spot, we have Donald Trump. This has to be one of the creepiest theories out there. So, theory goes that Donald Trump and his son Barron Trump are both time travelers from the future. Theory goes that Trump traveled back in time to become the ruler of America. Now, here's the thing. These theories arise after someone discovered 2 books on the Office of Congress Library website. The books are called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and 1900 or The Last President. Both were written in the 1890s by Ingersoll Lockwood. The book Barron Trump is about a young boy who finds a secret portal and time travels. Both books have eerie connections to Donald Trump and his family. First off, the book is called Barron Trump, and Barron Trump is the name of Donald Trump's son. There are way more freaky coincidences though. Like how at one point in the book he was guided by a man named Don, aka Donald Trump. And then in the book The Last President, it's about an unlikely presidential candidate that won the election. Sound familiar? Even freakier, the book talks about the Fifth Avenue Hotel, and the address of the hotel in the book is the exact address where Trump's tower currently stands. Hold on, it gets creepier. In the book, there is a character named Laugh Pence, who is the Secretary of Agriculture. Come on, like hello, the Vice President's name is Mike Pence. There's just too many similarities between the books and Donald Trump's life, so people believe that this book was actually written about Trump and his family.
And at number 10, we have Matt Groening. This is a classic one. Everyone thinks that the creator of The Simpsons might be a time traveler. Wait, what? Why would some people think that the creator of a show would possess some sort of superpower? Well, unless you've been living under a log, you would know that The Simpsons have been able to predict the future several times. Everything from three-eyed fish being discovered to the coronavirus to Donald Trump becoming president. It would seem like the show has a strange knack for looking into the future. They even got the ending of Game of Thrones figured out. Now, what this is probably just like dumb luck or just freaky coincidences, because The Simpsons has been on for so long and is constantly doing social commentary, so it would only be a matter of time before they figured things out. But what if he did actually come from the future and that is how he gets inspiration for his show? Or he has a link to the future that is telling him what might happen so he can work it into the show. Either way, I mean, you gotta admit, those coincidences are pretty freaky.
Coming in at number 9, we have Wim Hof. You might not know this guy, but you definitely should. Some of you might know him as his nickname, the Iceman. But Wim Hof is the man who unlocked some special ability within all of us. Through breathing exercises and some cold therapy, he has been able to take on temperatures that would kill most people in seconds. He also has been able to fight off harmful infections and keep any sort of sickness at bay. Not only that, but he has taught these techniques to people all over the world. He has consistently claimed that he isn't special and that anyone can do this. But here's the thing, this apparently is a technique that has been used for thousands of years. It was just forgotten to our time and people. So did Wim Hof just rediscover something that was lost? Or did he travel from the past to the future to make sure that we never lost this amazing skill that he has been doing forever because he is a Time Lord?
I'm gonna go with the Time Lord option. And at number 8, we have Jennifer Aniston. Here's one that's not like she has some sort of special knowledge, but let's just get real for a second. If you take a picture of Jennifer Aniston when she's 19 and a picture of her when she's 50, it looks pretty much the same. Either this lady is a Time Lord that has the ability to stop her cells from aging because she can bend space and time around herself and become forever young, or she has more money than God and she's spending it on keeping her body young forever. Honestly, it's for sure the second one, because she was on one of the most successful sitcoms of all time and then became one of the biggest stars in the whole world, so she for sure has the money to spend on staying fit and young. Also, not worrying about money is great for your stress, which would help you not look old. But it's more fun to speculate that she's come from the future or past or both, I guess.
Coming in at number 7, we have Taylor Swift. People love to gossip about Miss Swift. I mean, she kind of deserves it because it seems like she's a massive liar and is super snaky when no one's looking, but at the same time, we shouldn't give that much attention to pop stars because there are way more important things to pay attention to. But one of the things that people got on Miss Swift about was the speculation that she was a time traveler. A lot of people think that she's actually Xena Lavey, who was a somewhat famous Satanist from the past who looks just like Taylor Swift. People say that she wasn't getting much traction as a Satanist back in the 80s, so she found a way to travel through time, make herself look younger, and then become a massive celebrity with her Time Lord abilities, and now with her position of power, she's going to take over the world with Satanism.
Alright, sliding into number 6 here, we have Will Smith. Back on the point about someone looking young forever, we have Will Smith, who has been gliding through life as one of the most successful stars who's ever lived, but at the same time, it's been a hot minute since this guy's had a hit movie. How can you be rich and famous for so long without making a solid movie in over a decade? Well, that could be because he has been able to work his way through Hollywood and into the ranks of the elite by becoming a Time Lord and selling knowledge of the future. This has to be the answer, obviously. It's not because he's a crazy hard worker and is apparently one of the nicest people you'll ever meet and is extremely supportive of the people around him and is actually a good actor even though not all of his movies are bangers. No way, the answer has to be Time Lord, and it is for sure that he is confirmed Illuminati.
Coming in at number 5, we have David Blaine. There is no way that you are standing on top of a pole for 3 days, getting locked in ice, and holding your breath until you break the breath hold record, and okay, the balloon thing was kinda lame, but all those other things were way cooler. But can we say that he has some ability to master his body and push himself to levels that no one has ever seen before? That he has gone out of his way to master sleight of hand and become one of the best magicians of all time? Or could we say that this dude is for sure a Time Lord who has been using his abilities to capture the minds of people around him and make us all think that he's some sort of weird dude? No way, man. The reason that he seems so strange is because he's from the year 3000 and he now has a watch that lets him blast back in time and pull off a bunch of crazy stunts. I'm just saying that when this dude dies, you're gonna want to check through all his pockets because he might have a device that can help you blast through time.
At number 4 on this list, we have Joe Exotic. Just looking at the way this guy's dressing and his haircut, I would have to say that he's from a different time. Like, for sure. I mean, he is from Kansas. I've never been there, so is that just what everyone looks like in Kansas? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that's the truth. It's probably not. Also, where is this dude getting all these tigers from, man? I would like to think that he's breeding them and selling them, but here's more than a logical idea. Wormhole. This guy has been pulling tigers from the past to the future through a wormhole, and he's actually doing this so tigers never go extinct, which is a very noble task, but he should change his wardrobe because it is too easy for people to tell that he is a time traveler when he looks like that. I don't think we have an Illuminati confirmation on him yet, but I am working on it. I've got all my best men on this case.
Coming in at number 3, we have Bruce Lee. I mean, the man came out of nowhere. He was able to master Kung Fu and other martial arts. He showed the world how to do crazy things with your body and be a human weapon. His hands were registered as lethal weapons. He has one of the most badass quotes of all time. He became one of the biggest movie stars of all time. He changed a decade, was one of the healthiest people who ever lived, and then just died out of nowhere from taking some sort of weird medication. I mean, there is a ton of speculation as to what happened to Bruce Lee. We could spend hours just going through all the conspiracy theories, but how about this one? This dude was a Time Lord who just came back in time to shake things up, become famous, be cool, and then bounced out of nowhere to a different timeline where he could be a legend again.
At number 2 on our list, I feel like I clap every time. Vladimir Putin. I mean, out of everyone on this list so far, this is probably the least shocking. As a kid, he apparently went to the KGB office and told them that he wanted to join, and they told him that no one does this, please leave. And then he spent his life becoming qualified until they accepted him, and then he became the supreme overlord of Russia. So yeah, this dude seems like he knows a thing or two about the future. Also, there's this picture. Is it a coincidence that all of the people lined up who look like Putin are in the army? I don't think so. This dude has been a Time Lord fighting in wars for centuries. Okay.
And coming into the number 1 spot, we have Zendaya and Halle Berry. Time Lord works, man. They are in the present timeline so that you can't figure out who they are. But just look at a side-by-side picture of these two. Zendaya looks like she could be Halle Berry's daughter, and maybe there is a relation, but I'm gonna put on my speculation hat and we're going to say that they're the exact same person. One famous light-skinned black woman moves out of Hollywood and then the next one moves in. They are in a time loop as we speak, crossing over the younger version so we never suspect anything when Halle Berry passes, but she already sent the younger version of herself into the past so she never has to die, and when the older version dies, all of her thoughts will be transferred into the younger version. I mean, it's right in front of you guys. How can you not see this?
Starting off this countdown, we have the man from 2236. So apparently there are a number of time travelers on TikTok. One of them being a person that goes by the username @RealTikTokTimeTraveler. And they have to be a real time traveler because they have real in their username. Anyways, they have a number of eerie predictions. One of them being that in September of 2022, a celebrity that is dead is going to come back to life. Sort of. Apparently this celebrity faked his death, so by September it will be revealed that he is still alive. Now this got many people thinking. They think it could be anyone from Tupac to Michael Jackson, even XXXTentacion. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if this comes true. And if it is true, who do you think it is? Moving on to number 8, we have the aliens. Now, a number of time travelers claim that soon our world will be taken over by aliens. Let's take a look at TikToker Aesthetic Time Warper, for example. He has shared a number of videos saying that he is a time traveler from the year 2714. And last year he made a prediction that on September 11th of 2022, he says, and I quote, "An alien takes 4,000 skilled workers and children to the planet Proxima b as a result of another hostile species coming here." But that did not come true. Unless it did come true and we just didn't know that people went missing. Like the aliens wiped our memory of them or something, who knows. Moving on to number 7, we have the alien civilization. So the alien predictions don't stop there. A different self-proclaimed time traveler claims that by August of 2022, an alien civilization will be discovered on Earth. Apparently there is an underground alien race living on Earth, and in 4 months they are going to make themselves known to us. In fact, August 2nd is the exact date that they shared with the world. So, on August 2nd, get ready for alien life to be exposed once and for all. My only hope is that if this is real, that the aliens are chill. I mean, if they've been living underground for all this time, like, why haven't they made their presence known earlier? I'm a little scared to find out why. Coming in at number 6, we have the volcano eruption. So what I'm learning from this video is that 2022 is going to be one hell of a year, because not only are we encountering aliens, but we will be faced with a series of volcanic eruptions. Maybe the aliens are coming to our rescue. Now, good news. One of the time travelers said a volcano eruption would occur on March 15th. And that date has passed, and no volcano has erupted, thank gosh. But they also said that one is going to occur on June 22nd, so hopefully they'll be wrong about that one as well. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the war. Another time traveler believes that in 2022 a war will break out between the US and North Korea. They said it would start on March 22nd, which thankfully it did not happen. So hopefully they were just full of crap and making all this stuff up. But I will say, this prediction conveniently released when North Korea was caught test firing a number of missiles. And then Kim Jong-un told military officials to be ready to mobilize troops, so help me. If there's a World War III, I'm done. I can't handle it. But like I said, this prediction was false as we are now in April, so hopefully it just never comes true. In our 4th spot, we have the sea levels rising. Global warming is a very serious issue. At this point, scientists have predicted that in a couple of years, major cities will be underwater. Well, a time traveler who goes by the name Edward claims that he got sent to the future. So according to Edward, he was part of a top secret experiment that took place in 2004. During the test, he was successfully transported in time. He was taken to LA 5,000 years in the future. And it's not looking too good. He said, and I quote, "I was standing on a huge wooden platform, and after I realized it was the same city, Los Angeles, but underwater." This man's claims were actually backed up with evidence, as he took a photo of LA underwater. Good thing he packed his underwater camera with him. I don't know. But the image is pretty blurry, but it appears to be an aerial view of LA underwater. At least we won't be around in 5,000 years. In our third spot today, we have more aliens. So another self-proclaimed time traveler who goes by the name Noah also had a prediction about aliens. Noah claims that he is from the year 2030 and he got sent back in time to 2018. He then decided to share what life is like in 2030. And according to him, by 2030, the government will reveal that time travel is real and we will encounter alien beings. Honestly, all these time travelers contradict themselves, so I doubt that this is real, okay? Again, unless these aliens are friendly. Like, if they're chill, then that's cool by me. In our second spot, we have the massive sea creature. By now, you should realize just how massive and mysterious the ocean is. I mean, we've done a million videos on the ocean, but still, only 5% of the ocean has been discovered. In fact, scientists predict that there are anywhere from a few 100,000 to more than 10 million undiscovered sea creatures. But by September 17th, 2022, we could discover one of these creatures. This time traveler claims that on that date, the largest creature to date will be found in the ocean, the Kieran Cronan, which is a large sea creature in Scottish Gaelic folklore. This beast is so large that it once ate 7 whales in one go. It is over 4 times the size of a blue whale. And not only that, it can disguise itself as a smaller fish to fool fishermen. So they're like, oh yeah, look at the fish I caught, and then all of a sudden, this beast emerges and swallows the fisherman right up. So maybe everyone should avoid fishing in any large bodies of water on September 17th. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the human chimpanzee. For those of you that haven't heard, a number of scientists have been doing experiments on chimps to try and make a human-chimp hybrid, aka the humanzee. And maybe scientists have succeeded. On September 26 of 2021, a time traveler revealed that a chimp gained the power to talk as scientists successfully managed to mutate its vocal cords. The scariest part is that it said that the chimp had some mysterious things to say. But again, this time has come and gone, and I haven't heard anything about a talking chimp. So either it has happened and the government is just hiding it, or it's false news. But I will say, it won't surprise me if this prediction does come true in the future.
Number 10. John Travolta. John Travolta is an American actor. He came to public attention during the 1970s, appearing on the television sitcom Welcome Back, Kotter, and starring in the box office success Carrie. He has many accolades as he's won a Golden Globe Award and been nominated for 6, been nominated for 2 Academy Awards, and has a Primetime Emmy Award. He's best known for his roles in Grease, Pulp Fiction, and Saturday Night Lights. This photo, dated over 150 years ago, surfaced at an online auction a few years ago with an asking price of around $50,000. Notice anything? It looks exactly like John. The seller, a woman identifying as Fawn, was surprised by the commotion it caused as potential buyers were surprised by its resemblance to John. Fawn said most people were curious or just thought the photo was fake or that I was weird. It's a really cool photograph, but I never thought it would cause this sort of hoopla funny. It truly does look like him though, you can't deny it. Number 9. Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is an American actor and film producer who is the recipient of various accolades, including an Academy Award, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and a Golden Globe Award. He's best known for his films Ghost Rider, National Treasure, and Con Air. This photo of an unnamed Tennessee man taken during the Civil War looks exactly like Nicolas Cage. A lot. You can't tell me that's not Nicolas Cage. The seller, who has put the image at a starting price at $1 million, says the photo is 100% genuine and was taken of a man who lived in Bristol, Tennessee around the time of the Civil War. These 2 men look so much alike that the internet community was convinced that Nicolas may actually be an immortal vampire. He heard about this accusation and addressed the issue in a David Letterman interview saying, "Now look, I don't drink blood, and the last time I looked in the mirror I
had a reflection, so I'm not going with his vampire theory. Now, I'm not sure if he's telling the truth though, I definitely think he's a vampire. Number 8. Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin is an American actor, comedian, and producer. He's best known for his roles in 30 Rock, Beetlejuice, and My Sister's Keeper. Alex looks very similar to the 13th President of the United States, Millard Fillmore. They also share many similarities as they were both born in New York to affluent, well-connected families. The difference between them? Oh, about 160 years. Millard was the 13th President of the United States, serving from 1850 to 1853, the last to be a member of the Whig Party while in the White House. A former member of U.S. House of Representatives from upstate New York, Millard was elected as the 12th Vice President in 1848 and succeeded to the presidency in July 1950 upon the death of U.S. President Zachary Taylor. Now, was Alec the president in past life? No one knows except for him. Number 7. Orlando Bloom. Orlando Bloom is an English actor. He made his breakthrough in the Lord of the Rings film series, The Fellowship of the Ring. He's best known for his roles in Carnival Row and the Pirates of the Caribbean films. He has a very strong resemblance to Nicolae Grigorescu, who was an influential 19th century Romanian painter. Nicolae was one of the founders of modern Romanian painting. He was born in 1838 and passed away in 1907. Between 1856 and 1857, he painted the Church of the Zamfira Monastery, Prahova County, and in 1861 the Church of the Agapia Monastery. Seems like in this life, Orlando wanted to be more in front of the camera and be the art instead of creating it like he did in the 1800s, but you can't deny that these two look extremely similar. Number 6. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence is an actress who was the world's highest paid actress in 2015 and 2016. She appeared in Time's 100 Most Influential People in the World list in 2013 and on the Forbes Celebrity 100 list from 2013 to 2016. She has many accolades including an Oscar, 3 Golden Globe Awards, 6 People's Choice Awards, and 7 MTV Movie Awards. She's best known for her roles in Silver Linings Playbook, Don't Look Up, and the Hunger Games films. Now, Jennifer looks very similar to famous Egyptian actress Zubaida Tharwar. Zubaida was an Egyptian film, stage, and television actress who was known for the most beautiful eyes in classic Egyptian cinema. She was known for movies such as The Guilty, The Other Man, and There Is a Man in Our House. With both of them being famous actresses, I can totally see them being the same person. Number 5. Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon is an American comedian, television host, actor, writer, and singer. He's best known for his work in television, and his breakthrough came during his tenure as a cast member on the NBC sketch comedy series Saturday Night Live from 1998 to 2004. He then became the host of the late night talk show Late Night with Jimmy Fallon from 2009 to 2014 and became the anchor of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon following his departure from late night. In addition to his television work, he has released 2 comedy albums and 7 books, mainly aimed at children. Now, Jimmy looks exactly like Mahir Chiran. If I were to put a mustache on Jimmy, they would be the exact same. Mahir was a Turkish Marcus Leninist revolutionary who was born in 1946 and was executed in 1972. Jimmy Fallon was born in 1974, with a 2-year difference between the two. Think about it. Could it be a coincidence? Maybe, but it could also be reincarnation. Couldn't it? I think so. Number 4. Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage is an American film, television, and stage actor. He received international recognition for being on the HBO television series Game of Thrones. Due to this, he won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series, a record of 4 times. He also received a Golden Globe Award in 2011 and a Screen Actors Guild Award in 2020 for the role. Now, Peter has a common form of dwarfism known as achondroplasia, as he stands 4 feet and 5 inches tall, and due to this he has used his celebrity status to raise social awareness. Now, it seems like Peter looks exactly like this man from this painting, the portrait of Sebastian de Mora. The painting is by Diego Velázquez of Sebastian de Mora, a court dwarf and jester at the court of Philip IV of Spain. It was painted around 1644 and is now in the Prado in Madrid. They look exactly the same, but the fact that they both have dwarfism is crazy to me. They are truly the same
person. Number 3. Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien is an American television host, comedian, writer, and producer. He's best known for having hosted late-night talk shows for almost 28 years, beginning with The Late Night Show with Conan O'Brien and The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien on the NBC television network and Conan on the cable channel TBS. Now, before his hosting career, he was a writer for the NBC sketch comedy series Saturday Night Live from 1988 to 1991 and the Fox animated sitcom The Simpsons from 1991 to 1993. He has also been the host of the podcast series Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend since 2018 and is expected to launch a new show on HBO Max. He looks exactly like Marshall H. Twitchell in this photo. Marshall was born in 1840 and passed away in 1905. He was a teacher, officer in the Union Army, and a businessman. Originally from Vermont, he became a prominent political figure in Louisiana's post-war Reconstruction, including 2 terms as a Republican member of the Louisiana State Senate. After the war, he returned north, served as a diplomat in Canada, and wrote a memoir. I truly think this was Conan in a past life. Number 2. Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is an American businessman and internet entrepreneur. He's known for co-founding the social media website Facebook and its parent company Meta Platforms, which he is the chairman, chief executive officer, and controlling shareholder. In 2007, at age 23, he became the world's youngest self-made billionaire. He has used his funds to organize multiple charities, including the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. Since 2008, Time magazine has named Mark among the 100 most influential people in the world as a part of its Person of the Year award. In the Forbes 400 list of wealthiest Americans in 2022, he was ranked 11th with a wealth of $57.7 billion. As of February 2023, his net worth was $68.6 billion, according to the Forbes Real-Time Billionaires, making him the 16th richest person in the world. Now, with all of this money, is it possible that he could time travel? Yes, 100%. And he looks exactly like Philip IV, also called the Planet King. He was the king of Spain from 1621 to his death in 1640, and he's remembered for his patronage of the arts. Why not go from being a king of a country to a king of the internet and metaverse? This seems like something Mark would do. And coming in at number 1 is Adam Schulman and Anne Hathaway. Adam Schulman is an actor and producer known for Seesaw Monster, The Shower, and Song 1. He married his wife Anne Hathaway in 2012. Now, Anne is an American actress and is the recipient of various accolades, including an Academy Award, a Golden Globe Award, and a Primetime Emmy Award. She was among the world's highest paid actresses in 2015 and is best known for her roles in The Devil Wears Prada, Les Miserables, and The Princess Diaries. Now, does the name Anne Hathaway sound familiar? Everyone's heard of William Shakespeare. What you probably don't know about the famous English playwright is that he had a wife named Anne Hathaway. But that's not the scary part. Adam looks exactly like William Shakespeare. Perhaps him and his wife came back for some unfinished business and to provide the world with more art. Everyone on the internet believes this, as people say they came back for each other, eternal lovers, and history hath a way of repeating itself. Another wrote, immortals must hate all of us for exposing them online, lol, and one fan claimed Shakespeare made a deal with his wife, I get to be famous in this life and you get to be famous in the next. I truly believe this, the resemblance is uncanny.